Hi, boys and girls. This is lesson 10 problem set, and we are beginning to work on comparing fractions by using some fraction strips. Fraction strips are just rectangles that we divide into unit fractional parts. So let's take a look at number 1. Each fraction strip is one whole. All the fraction strips are equal in length. Color one fractional unit in each strip. Then answer the questions below. So up top here, we are going to shade in whatever the fractional unit is that they have given us. So the first one is 1/2. So I'm going to shade in 1/2. Next is 1/4. Shade in 1/4. 1/8. 1/3. And 1/6. So we can see, even though those fraction strips are all the same size, the fractional unit is a different size. And so let's go down here to number 2. Number 2 says circle less than or greater than. Whisper the complete sentence. So letter A, 1/2 is blank, then 1/4. Well, look up here at 1/2 and 1/4. 1/2, that fractional unit is greater than 1/4. If we have 1/2 of something, we have more than if we have 1/4. Let's look at letter B. 1/6 is blank, then 1/2. Look at the space for 1/6. And if we draw a line, an imaginary line up to 1/2, we see that 1/2 is greater. So this sentence is going to say, and they said whisper, 1/6 is less than 1/2. Let's take a look at number 3. We're looking at 1/3. So 1/3, is that less than or greater than 1/2? Well, here's the end of 1/3. Let's draw an imaginary line up. Looks like 1/3 is less than. Go ahead and do letter D and E and come on back and see if you got it correct. How did you do? Letter D says 1/3 is greater than 1/6. And letter E, 1/8 is less than 1/6. Go ahead and finish F, G, and H, and then come back and see if you got it correct. Welcome back. Letter F, 1/8 is less than 1/4. So if we do 1/4 and 1/8, 1/8 is less than 1/4. 1/2 is greater than 1/8, right? And letter H, 9/8. I'm going to add another eighth onto here, and is greater than 2/2. If I have 2/2, that means I have the whole thing shaded in. And 9/8, if I shade in 9/8, that means I have more than one whole, and that is greater than 2/2. That was a tricky one. All right, let's go on and look at number 3. Lily needs 1/3 cup of oil and 1/4 cup of water to make muffins. Will Lily use more oil or more water? Explain your answer using pictures, numbers, and words. So remember these comparison problems, we can make our own fraction strips. We just have to make sure we start with two rectangles that are the same length. So I'm going to do a rectangle like that, and I'm going to do one like this. And I'm going to label this one 1/3, and that's oil, and this is water, and that's going to be 1/4. Okay. Now I can shade in 1/3 and I can shade in 1/4. And I can easily see, what is she going to use more of? She's going to use more oil. So Lily will use more oil. I hope Lily shares her muffins in our Google Meet with us. That's all you need to do. So we could do this. We could show it as a sentence like that and use the greater than symbol. And you have a sentence there and your picture. So you're good. All right, let's look at number 4. We're going to use greater than, less than, or equal to compare. 1/3 and 1/5. Now, if we look at this, if we think about fractions, remember the smaller number is actually larger. If you need to draw a picture, go ahead. Letter B, 1/7 is greater than, less than, or equal to 1/4. What do you think? 1/7 is less than 1/4. Letter C, 1/6 and 1/6. They are equal. They are the same. You see, it helps if you say it rather than just look at it. Go ahead and try letters D, E, and F, and then come on back to see if you're correct. All right, letter D, 1/10 is greater than 1/12. Letter E, 1/16 is less than 1/11. And letter F, they're trying to trick you again. 1/2 is what with 2 halves? Well, if we have 2 halves, isn't that 1/2? So that is equal. You can try letter G if you want to. There's a little whole sentence there that they want you to do. Let's look at number 5. Your friend Eric says that 1/6 is greater than 1/5 because 6 is greater than 5. Is Eric correct? Use words and pictures to explain what happens to the size of a unit fraction when the number of parts gets larger. So, I remember Logan Ray on one of our first fraction meetings when we started to talk about comparing. He hit the nail on the head. 1/5 is larger. Let me draw the pictures here. It's really hard to tell because they're so close. But if we have 1/6 and 1/5, 1/5 is larger because you have fewer pieces, okay? So that's why when we're talking about unit fractions, the larger number is actually smaller because you have more pieces to cut from it. So use words and pictures to explain what happens to the size of a unit fraction as when the number of parts gets larger. When the number of parts gets larger, the unit fraction gets smaller. So think about up here, we're talking about 1/11. Think about how small that would be. I'm not even sure I can draw something. Look how teeny tiny that space is. It's very small. Boys and girls, you're going to go on to do some homework problems. No, I'm sorry. You're going to go on to do the exit ticket today. So you're going to do the exit ticket for lesson 10 and submit it on Schoology. Also submit your problem set where you need to.